up, people? Come on up in here. And we'll start talking today. It's Memorial Day. If you have somebody who's in the military that passed, you go ahead and celebrate their life. But y'all know this is bullshit. Yo, what up, y'all? If y'all out there barbecuing, if you don't have nobody who passed away in the military, though, y'all out there celebrating a country who beat your ass every goddamn day. Yo, what up, y'all? Who is that? What's up? What up? Brent, what up? OG, DJ, CEO, Rick, what up? Stormy, I see y'all up in here. Y'all make me get that post to the goddamn screen. I know I can't see. What the hell, man? What up, though, people? Who is that? Feels great. Ah, Steve, Steve Tyler, King Dan, King, Good Tone. What up, CEO? I see y'all here on this Memorial Day. Y'all at the park barbecuing, y'all. Bullshit. Actually, barbecuing this is you want to get the hell out of the house. Hey, stay in your place. But if you get out the house and you celebrate America, yo, the bullshit, dog. So I just want to chime in on this Memorial Day real quick. So we can talk about this, okay? So this is an important day, an important anniversary. I know you've seen the comment. This is actually, if you guys, for y'all who don't know, who is that? What, 15? 15? What up, everybody? Come on up in here. But if you guys don't know, this is the anniversary of the so-called Black Wall Street Massacre. Okay, uh, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 19 and 2000 and 1921. If you don't know the story, just a real quick uh, recap of what went down. So there was a 19-year-old in the town of Tulsa, Oklahoma, uh, right off of where it was. There was a brother, there was a young brother, 19, who went inside the building, and where there was a white girl in the elevator. He was elevator operator. He was a key trainer. He was an elevator operator. So no one knows what happened inside the elevator, but the brother goes inside the elevator. Um, then apparently there's a scream, and then he runs out. But apparently, what happened? What they actually said that might have happened was a couple things. Either they were trapped. Brother was trapped in there. He might have been trapped in the Caucasian girl at that time. And they were trying to keep it in the wrap and probably broke it up with him. But then they were saying the other thing was that when he got on the elevator, that the elevator shimmied and it kind of scared him, kind of threw him and got the elevator shook. And so he stumbled and grabbed, when he stumbled, he kind of grabbed it. So he ran out of the elevator scene. So that's one of the stories. That, again, one of the bigger common stories is that he was hitting it. They had something going on and then something went down after that. But anyway, after he runs out, who's that? What up? You can't hear me. What?
Yo, can y'all hear me now? Yo, can y'all hear me now? What? Oh, better? You can hear me? All right. Damn. So I got to go over that shit again. Thank you for the donation, whoever that was. All right. I guess the headphones was on. They should have been off though. It's, again, whatever you know, Mercury's in retrograde, so we gonna get through this however we can, y'all. So y'all just bear with it. But again, as again, we're going over the so-called Black Wall Street massacre, 1921, where how it started. If you don't know the background, a young brother, 19, shoe shiner, was in this building, walked into a building where there's walked into an elevator, building where they had an elevator. The elevator operator was a white girl, 17. Then there was a scream that was heard. He got saw running. They saw him running out of the building, and apparently they was trying to say that he attacked a girl on the elevator. But so two of the stories that said what happened was um, that one of the stories was that he was he was hitting it, he was tapping it, and they had a misunderstanding or whatever. He tried to break it up with her or whatever, and then she didn't like that, so she kind of screamed, and they had a little misunderstanding, and from that's people heard her scream and whatever, and the brother ran out, and so then they put two and two together that he must have did something, right? Then the other story was that when he got on the elevator jostled. He got on there and the elevator shimmied a little bit, and it shook him and it threw him a little bit. And when he fell, he reached out and grabbed her as he was trying to fall, trying to break his fall. And that's when she screamed, and then he ran out thinking, "Oh, white girl screaming, they gonna kill me." And then sure enough, they did. And so that's how it started. Then you get the Caucasians who now again, this was just the spark. There was a whole lot of shit going on behind this. There was a whole lot of racial tension going on underlying this. A lot of Ku Klux Klan, going on in the town of Greenwood, or in Greenwood, Oklahoma. And so we're gonna do the background on Greenwood, but it's Tulsa, Oklahoma, is where it was, but also it's Greenwood, and so we got to do the history on that. But um, so it's the 100th anniversary of what happened, and when they took out Tulsa, Oklahoma, they took out a major economic portion of the melanated people, so-called black people. At that time, they were building an economic foundation to grow on, and they had hundreds of businesses, and we had banks. We had like 100 banks, and I mean, we had so much going on at that time. It was crazy, and they called it what Booker T. Washington called it Negro Wall Street, but they turned it. What up, Tish? Booker T. Washington turned it into Negro Wall Street, but then modern day people turned it Black Wall Street. But again, two misnomers. All right, we're gonna break that down and see where their true power was, how they got that, how they truly acquired, the power that they had at that time. And so, uh, a good thing to watch if you guys watch the Watchmen show on HBO. Go watch the first episode of Watchmen, the whole first couple episodes, really. But you know, is the Klan members were called Watchmen, who would watch out and do shit and terrorize the melanated people at that time. So the show Watchmen, go watch that. It really gets right into the history of it. Goes right to the Tulsa. The very first show is about the Tulsa, Oklahoma massacre. And so what they did is they got a mob of Caucasians. They just basically barreled into the town and started smashing on everybody. This now again, I don't know why you would have. See, this is the way I think. If you was gonna have a town metropolis like that, you should have had some protection. Y'all should have been gunning, or they should have been gunning up, creating all kinds of booby traps around the city. I mean, you got to think like that. especially if you know these Caucasians don't want you to flourish because your city, your flourishing city, is making them look bad because Caucasians at the time had no skills. And so you got to understand this was like right around the time, right after, not too long after slavery, and so all the melanated people had the skills in slavery. And then when they got free, they took their skills with them. Like, hey nigga, come on nigga, this is my shit now. Hey nigga, you hooking me up, I'm gonna hook you up. So we started to build each other up. And the Caucasians didn't have those type of skills. Why? Because they were slaving niggas. And niggas was doing all of that shit. So they didn't know what to do. So they were getting pissed about what was going on, and they needed to destroy uh, the town of Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. They needed to take the brothers out and destroy that economic hub, that major economic hub, because it was known around the world, it was known in the country. Everybody knew about Black Wall Street, especially after Booker T. Washington rode through there and started talking about it, and start putting it in his essays and his lectures and stuff. So it became crazy. And then they would have back in the day, they had boosters. They had city boosters, which would go around to different cities in different states, and they'd be like, "Hey, nigga, y'all want to move? Y'all want to move to Tulsa, nigga? Y'all want to move to Greenwood, nigga? We balling over here, cuz. Hey, nigga, we got 18,000 banks, nigga. We got nigga ice cream shops, nigga. What you want, nigga? You still want to be under the white man's nuts? Bitch your ass. You better get your ass over here to motherfucking Tulsa, nigga." So they had people going rolling around doing to the states doing that. You know what I'm saying? Just drumming up people. That's why it was a lot of melanated people flourishing into that area. And so you had major, that was towards after it got built up. But how it got built up, where did they how did they acquire that land? How did even those melanated people get there? So the history of the town or the state or that area, Greenwood and Tulsa, goes back to the Indian Removal Act. Okay, so the Indian Removal Act was in 1830 by your bitch ass Andrew Jackson. the boy on the dub. Y'all should spit on it if you if you all your Aboriginals spit on it when you get a $20 bill, because he fucked your people really bad. He instituted a major war against the Aboriginal people in America to take over the land like crazy. So this was even all before the 1830s. The 1830s was just some culmination of it. So like uh, it started in like 1811 where they had 1811, they had like this battle, this major battle. So what they were trying to do was they had something called the Northwest Ordinance, right? The Northwest Ordinance. So let's give you background. So Britain owned most of the land until America got their freedom, right? So after the Revolutionary War with the Paris Treaty in 1880 in 1783, the British, because before that, the British held on to all this land, and the British wouldn't allow the colonists to expand. They were like, nah, nigga, y'all keep y'all little, because it was easier for Britain to control the colonies if they didn't allow them to expand, right, into new states and stuff. They could only, if at all, ask to expand their own existing state. So, so in after 20 years, that was in 1763, that it was called the Proclamation, the Great Proclamation or something, Proclamation Treaty or something like that by Britain. And they were like, nah, y'all can't expand to this territory. Y'all stay your asses over there. Then in 1783, when the Revolutionary War was over and America got their freedom, they was like, fuck this, nigga, we bound. Hey, nigga, wait, nigga, you see that over there? We over there, we over here, we over here, nigga. They just they just started smashing and taking land, and so created something called the Northwest Ordinance, where they basically went and gangstered the land from a lot of the Aboriginals at that time. They basically made them sign treaties to either sell the land or give up the land for certain goods that they would get back from America. Right, so that was the Northwest. That was called the Northwest Ordinance, right? So that was like 1790, I think, or something around there. Now, along at this time, the same time, you had the census of 1790. So why is the census important? Because in the census, this is how they started to separate you from the land, because they knew it was called, these were your Aboriginal lands. And so in the census, they started to take Aboriginals, because you were called free you were called free inhabitants. You were called what's the name? Free non-citizens. And so that's who you were. You were free, but you weren't the citizens. So what they started to do as Aboriginals, they started to go around and change your status in their system. They started to, instead of you were being Muskegee or Choctaw or whatever this was, they started to write people down as, if they came by, because they were trying to assimilate a lot of these nations, right? And so this is where you get, there's something called the five civilized nations. These were the nations who bent the knee. Sorry to say, these were the nations who bent the knee to America. They were trying to assimilate them. Basically, the Aboriginals were hunter gatherers and stuff like that. They were trying to assimilate them and make them farmers and shit like that, because that would make them more dependent on agriculture from America. So they got them to do agriculture, got them to stop being nomads and shit, got them to assimilate into the colonies. They married Caucasian people, they had a whole lot of businesses, all that shit, right? So they were called the five civilized tribes. So they basically were going around at this time. They were civilizing these Americans, and then so if they went around, and they were asking people in these nations and these tribes. They would classify you. Are you a Christian? Did you convert to Christianity? If you converted to Christianity, then they would mark you down. They would mark you down as one of their citizens, or they would change your status to uh, um, mulatto, Negro, mulatto, uh, person of colored person, or what was the other? A slave, a descendant of slaves. So you get your status literally got changed to something of, when you were free, to a subservient subject status. And so a lot of us didn't care at the time when they were doing it, because it only meant something in the American government. We didn't give a shit about that, but we didn't know that they were getting ready to try to take us off the land, because with this whole thing. So in around 17, after that, right after that, around 1793, 1794, you had this brother called man, he was called Little Man. He was a Miami Indian. I forgot. He was a Miami chief. He was called Little something, and he organized a confederacy, a Native American or Aboriginal confederacy to fight these cats. And because they were trying to expand into all these Native American lands. We were like, nigga, fuck that. Y'all ain't doing that. Because the 1790 Northwest Ordinance was like, yo, y'all gave up this land, this land, this land, this land. We were like, no, we didn't. We were like, no, we didn't do that. So some of them bowed. Some of the Aboriginals bowed. Like the Choctaw, they were the first. They were the first to bounce, right? They were like, all right, fuck it, we out. Like, all right, nigga, we going. They signed the treaty and bounced. But then the other ones was like, nah, we ain't leaving. So like the Miami and a few others, they band together and start fighting. They were scrapping with them for a minute. They lost though. It was this big battle and they lost. But then, so that was like 1794. They lost, and so then they started expanding. They started expanding more, and this was like into Georgia and Florida and all these other places. And Northwest Ordinance also allowed them to expand into Ohio. So that was the Northwest Territory, Ohio, around that little area right there. So just so y'all know, man, all these little areas where y'all at in Mississippi, all these are all heavily packed Aboriginal lands. Y'all don't know that. These weren't slave lands. These lands were super packed with Aboriginal nations and tribes. And so they were trying to get this land, and that's why they called it the Northwest. It was just west of where they already had settled, like New York and New Jersey and all that. So that's why they call it the Northwest. It wasn't the West. It was just the west of where they were at the time. So then they were like, all right, yeah, y'all got to bounce, homie. Yo, we gotta, y'all giving up the land or what? Again, the Miamis and the other people, they were like, nah, they fought, then they lost. So then, they gave up land from that. But even still, they were like, nah. Even after that, they lost in the 1794, but in like 1818 or 1816, they was like the Seminoles. So the first ones were the Miamis who fought. And then the Seminoles jumped up. It's like, nigga, nah. We ain't moving nowhere, nigga. Fuck you, nigga. What's up, nigga? This Seminole, nigga. So they start banging Seminoles on them. That was the first Seminole War. And they lost. They were winning for a minute though, but again, these niggas got better. They got better ammunition and stuff. So ultimately they would lose. Then uh, it was around. I think it was around 1819 or 1820 something. Again, the Seminoles, they started another war. It was like, nigga, we said we ain't leaving, Nick. Seminoles ain't no joke. Seminoles is gangsters. So all you niggas in Florida who crazy, that's where you come from. You come from them crazy ass Seminoles that was like, nigga, what's up, nigga? Fuck them, fuck you, nigga. So they wasn't leaving. They was bound, but they got smashed again. Weapons, technology makes a difference. So the Seminoles got smashed on. Then that's when that's when they really started uh, to displace a lot of the Aboriginal Americans. Now, what they would do is if you tried to stay Aboriginal, they moved you. If you claimed you were Aboriginal, whatever nation, they moved you. If you claimed that you were going to be you were going to be a citizen of the government of America, assimilate, do all this and that, they would let you stay on certain lands, right? But you weren't no more. You were no longer Chief Blackfoot or Chief Red Toe or whatever the hell they got. You know what I'm saying? Chief Cross-eyed. You were no longer that. You had to become Sherry Jenkins and all the rest of these names. So this is why you guys have these last names today, because you had to change your name in order to stay on certain lands in that Eastern Territory. So if you're like in New Jersey, Massachusetts, Delaware, even Georgia. Georgia was a major Cherokee nation. That's where the Cherokee were. Heavy. That's why you got the Braves. You got the Atlanta Braves. Why? Because Georgia was a majorly heavily packed Aboriginal state with Cherokee. And so this is where the Trail of Tears come in. So after they had been smashing and Andrew Jackson had been fighting wars and killing Aboriginals, in 1830 they created the Indian Removal Act. Like, we just gonna move you niggas. Fuck it. We just moving you niggas. How about that, nigga? What you got to say now, nigga? So the Aboriginal, like I said, all the other people fought. Also, Pontiac had won some. There was a during the expansion. Go look up Chief Pontiac. You got the Pontiac Firebirds and all that. Chief Pontiac was one who also created a rebellion. Also, Tecumseh and his brother, the Prophet, they also created a rebellion. So the Cherokee was like, nah, we ain't gonna scrap. We just gonna fight them legally. So they took him to court and sued him. And so they lost. They lost the first suit. That was like 1831. They lost. And then, but in 1832, the court ruled that because they were basically, Georgia was just giving up. This is what happened. So after the 1830 Indian Removal Act, Georgia was like, oh, word, nigga, this ain't Indian land no more, nigga. Hey, I want that over there. Hey, nigga, you can get that over there. Hey, see, hey, nigga, you get, hey, move, get off the land, bitch. So that's what was happening. They were just dividing up the land. Aboriginal land was going in there and kicking niggas off like, hey, nigga, that's my shit now. Nigga, get your ass up off my shit. And so the Aboriginals, they was like, nah, you can't do this. So they sued and they lost 1831. 1832, though, they won. And the Supreme Court said that Georgia laws had no bearing on. And the first one when they lost, though, is very important because the Supreme Court said that they tried to say that we are a sovereign nation. This is what they were suing for, to say we were a sovereign nation and Georgia laws have no bearing on us. Then the court ruled, nah, nigga, you're a domestic nation. Basically, you're subservient to us. See how this is very important shit. This is very important when they assimilated with the colony. This is why they call them the 5 civilized tribes. When they bent the knee, they gave over jurisdiction. However, the next year they sued again. It was Worcester versus Georgia. Worcester versus Georgia. The court said, nah, nigga, you can't fuck with that Cherokee. They their own people. They got their own government, their own laws, whatever. Then Andrew Jackson was like, hey, nigga, because this was a judge who gave the opinion. And I think it was Judge Marshall. And Andrew Jackson was like, hey, nigga, let the nigga come enforce it then, nigga. We can't take over Cherokee land. Well, come stop us, nigga. How about that? Come stop us, fool. And so at that time wasn't no Twitter, wasn't no social media to cancel the nigga when he said some shit like that. You can't do shit like that today because you'd be vilified and canceled and tarred and feathered. But back then, when ain't nobody in the room to hear you say that, but two or three niggas, you can go you can go do that type of stuff. So basically, he got the army together and started moving Cherokee off the land, just bouncing. Boop, y'all got to roll. Like 15,000 Cherokees had to get up and bounce off the land. This is the Trail of Tears. But again, the Indian, and that was because of the Indian Removal Act. But they had been removing Native American, Aboriginal Americans since the 1790s when they did that census. Remember, the census, the 1790 census is major because it started to reclassify you. This is how they started to take the land. If we reclassify them, then they have no claim to the land. This goes to that Dred Scott case. See, when they came in there and Dred Scott went into the court, he was like, yo, yeah, I'm suing this dude because we didn't travel to free states, we didn't travel to how many free states? I'm supposed to be free. Ain't this area free? Well, I'm free, nigga. Fuck this nigga. So he sued, won. He sued for his freedom. He won. Just so y'all know, he won first. Most people don't know Dred Scott won the first time he sued old boy for his freedom. For 2 years, he was free. Then homeboy was just sitting at home like, wait a minute. This nigga ain't no damn citizen. How the fuck was this nigga able to sue in the... Hey, Martha, we about to go down to the courthouse and we gonna fix this shit. So he went down there and was like, hey, nigga, he set in another suit, a countersuit, or to get him back, because basically he was like, this dude had no right to sue in the United States court because he's not a citizen. So goes all the way to Supreme Court, as y'all know. Basically, he won actually in the lower court. So then Dred Scott appealed, and then it goes to the Supreme Court, right? So then Supreme Court goes, that's when the Supreme Court, Taney said that black people have no, the founders intended, they felt that black people had no rights that the white man were bound to respect. There was no law for you. There's no status or no law for you in our system, under an aboriginal slave descended, of pure blood descended from aboriginal slave. There's nothing for you, bro. We ain't got nothing for you, my nigga. Not in here. Now, however, this is a very important part. Y'all read that case. If he was just trying to shit on him and kick him out of the thing, he was like, hey, nigga, sorry, my nigga, we ain't got no laws for you. Next case, like hey, nigga, there's no law for you. Ain't no aboriginal law, man. Ain't no African no African status in our citizenship, nigga. There's nothing for you. We can't do shit for you, my nigga. However, unlike you came in here like those Native American niggas, the Indians. See, you should have came in here like them. Indians, they sovereign. They got governments and schools, and we treat them like government to government. They basically on the same plane with us. They can do this. They can contract. They can go there. They can do this. They can telling them all the stuff that the Aboriginals can do. Why? Because he was like, that is your status, fool. That's the status you should have came in here with, not this status of I'm an African of pure African blood. So this is why he lost. But Taney told him, gave him the golden secret, gave him the golden ticket. Hey, nigga, go on out there, call yourself Aboriginal, call yourself an Indian, then come back, and you good. So he dropped those jewels to him, so you can understand or to let him know that Aboriginals had the higher status. They had a status that was recognized by the United States at that time. So this is the major bullshit that they try to trick you with. And so they start to reclassify you, and this is where you get the idea that you are a descendant of slaves. Because they just started to classify you as that in the census. Now the records show that no more than 300 in the whole goddamn slave trade. The whole goddamn slave trade. Only 388,000 slaves came to North America. Less than 3% of the whole slave trade ended up in America. That's crazy. But y'all think it was millions of slaves, it was a million Africans. that was carted over here. It was 388 slaves from Africa, I should say, that made it here. Only 388,000. But at the height of the slave trade, it was 4 million slaves in America. So where the hell did they all come from? 4 million. You get 4 million slaves from 388,000, most of which, 2/3 of which are men and boys. Y'all know that. They wasn't like it was half women and half men. No, it was men and boys. That was most of them. So it was few women to have babies with, that had to keep to perpetuate these slaves. So where'd they come from? Your ass was here, already here, you doing all of that shit, doing your powwows, doing your smokeouts, doing all of that, feather in your head. That was all of y'all, man. I'm part Cherokee, so my ancestors fucked up. Now I'll say this: they didn't fuck up this way. So after when they sued and they tried to get him out, there was a chief called John Ross who countersued and tried to block it. And he was basically what happened is America went behind most of the chiefs' backs, all the leaders of the Cherokee, and got like 2 or 3 dudes and broke them off some bread and was like, yo, y'all want to sign this deal and do this or not, nigga? We ready to do this deal. Now these 3 people didn't have any authority to sign the deal for all of the Cherokee nation, but he's like, hey, nigga. We Cherokee. Hey, nigga, give me the pen. Where the pen at, nigga? Hey. And so they all signed it away and signed away all the lands of the Cherokee in Georgia. And so this is when they got moved out to Oklahoma, right? And so this is the Trail of Tears. So it took about 800 miles, about 4,000 Aboriginals died on the trek. Right, 4,000. This is a Holocaust. You don't hear nothing about that. Over 4,000. This is the estimated, which means it's probably more than that, a lot more than that. So, they kicked us out. Oh, so just so you know, the brothers who signed the treaty, it was the Treaty of Dakota or to Terracotta or something like that. Go look it up. It was the major document that they used to move the Cherokee off the land. But those brothers who signed it, the Aboriginals went in there and killed them fools. They was like, nigga, you gave up our land, nigga. They took them niggas out the game. Like, y'all tripping, nigga. Y'all gave up our land, fool. What, nigga? So all 3 of them got smoked. So can't say I disagree with that one. But so as they moved out, most of them, you got thousands of Aboriginals trekking. Now, what they'll tell you is that who settled Oklahoma, Greenwood, in Greenwood, Oklahoma, was mostly Aboriginals, but a lot of them brought their slaves with them. That's how the so-called black people got into Oklahoma, was because the Native Americans, when they moved into Oklahoma, they brought thousands of slaves with them. That wasn't true. They were the Aboriginals. They were the goddamn Cherokee. Most of them were Cherokee. Some of them were slaves. That the Aboriginal tribes, they own slaves. Slavery been around since the beginning of time. You've been a slave owner. We've been taking each other out and making each other slaves since the beginning of time. So there was some slaves that was owned. And again, remember they had entered the colonist system. So that was slavery. So they were involved in the slave trade with the colonies, right? So there was some African slaves that were mixed in with that. But who is going to have more power to get shit done in that land? The Aboriginals, the Native Americans, who already have treaties and everything that's going on with America, with the colonists, or the descendants of slaves who actually have no rights? This is what they tried to tell you. It was the slaves, and somehow the slaves, they just made a gang of money and just created this Black Wall Street. They just got the land, and they was off the chain. These slaves was off the chain. How the fuck did they do that? As slaves with no goddamn power at that time. That's because they got the land because they were Aboriginal. They got it under these treaties that was land that was promised to them. Remember, they had to move, so these lands were given to these Native Americans. And so they'll tell you that some of these Aboriginals were made Cherokee citizens by the Cherokee. That's because they were They were already goddamn fucking Cherokee. They were already Aboriginals that were there. So just so y'all know, that whole area is mostly populated, or you're descendants of those Native Americans, those Aboriginal Americans who settled those lands. It's not slaves. It's the Aboriginals. Go look that shit up. They'll try to say that the slaves, that a lot of thousands of slaves came with the Cherokee, and they got assimilated into the Cherokee cultures, and that's how they were given some of the land. They'll say that the government said that they had to give some of the land to the slaves. That was bullshit. The slaves had no goddamn rights. They had no laws. They had nothing. And so the reason that they became so strong was because they started to implement this Jim Crow. So Jim Crow, you guys know what Jim Crow is. That's separate but equal, supposedly. Bullshit. But it was separate. Nigga, you say that's your water fountain, this is my water fountain. That's your fucking restaurant, this is my restaurant. So melanated people couldn't go into the Caucasian places. So that forced us to have to work together. I mean, we were already versed in that because, as slaves and stuff like that, Aboriginals, we had to work together to really get shit done. So we already had that gene working. So, oh, word, we can't have none of your shit. Well, we weren't involved in your shit anyway. There's only a couple niggas who was involved in y'all shit. We got our own shit anyway. So they just start building up their own shit, and boom, you see what happened. They were mashing. Now, what a lot of people don't know is a lot of the reasons that we got moved off our land was for the resources. Like in the Cherokee lands in Georgia, major gold was found. Did y'all know that? It was a major gold rush in Georgia. The Aboriginal lands, after they kicked them off, they found gold. And everybody flooded in there and started trying to rape the land for gold. That's the Aboriginal gold. That's your ancestral gold. But it's gone now. So don't even try to go get that shit back. That shit is gone. Probably in Britain. But so that was part of it. And so then the other reason when when the massacre happened, so you got all these Caucasian mobs flooding in there, and not only that, there were planes. See, the plane was brand new in the 20s, 1921. The plane was brand new. And so they were flying planes. They started flying, relatively brand new, and they started flying these planes over and dropping dynamite on the city. They was doing the most. So, again, you have they say hundreds, close to 300 were killed. It had to be way more than that. They found grave sites that were unmarked with all these bodies in it. So it was way more than the 300. This is the story that the Caucasian colonists, the colonizers, going to tell you. Oh, we only had, it was 300. Oh my God, it was a terrible thing. 300 is probably more like, 1,000, 1,500 people that were killed. And 80 to 90% of the city was lost. So again, but after this happens, now we're so distraught and in disarray. More and more of us are starting to be, we don't have that connection anymore. They blew it up, so they're like, all right, well, fuck it, let's just join their system. Fuck it, let's just join their system then. And so we started to be pulled into the American system, even though it was fucked up for us. But they saw that they didn't want us to have shit. So this is how you started to lose your power. When you start to take on their name, their rights, their, the things, the privileges that they give you, you start to lose your own shit. This is what happened. It wasn't Black Wall Street. It was Aboriginal Wall Street. And we lost it because they understood the power that we could have when we came together. So just even in the Melanin book, you guys, just something like this. The Melanin book, this had to be the same thing. In this book, it said the reason for the civil rights movement, because you couldn't vote until, in the South and all these places, you couldn't vote until the civil rights movement, 65. So, but in this book, it said the civil rights movement happened because their melanin was turned on. Well, so what do you think was happening in Greenwood, in Tulsa, Oklahoma, in Black Wall Street? You think their melanin wasn't turned on and they weren't vibrating? Oh, they had to break that damn vibration up quick. They saw what was going to happen. And we would be expanding into their systems. And so they weren't trying to have that. So, let me see. And so the other reason, this is the other reason that they got kicked off the land. So this is why I think this was all planned. So in Greenwood or in Oklahoma, major oil was found after the niggas got kicked out. Did y'all know that? Oil was found. This is how America became the superpower that it did around the 40s and 50s, because we started to strike oil in America, the lands that they stole from the Native Americans. They started to find oil, and America shot from nothing to literally the superpower in the world, biggest superpower in the world, because of oil. And so at this time in those 20s, you had these major oil barons who needed the land to mine this oil. And you don't think these motherfuckers knew that there was oil in Oklahoma? And these niggas was motherfucking blocking them from getting it? Hey, nigga, hey, we got to. How we gonna get these niggas off that land? Huh? Hey, well, hey, them niggas love white pussy, don't they? So look, all we got to say is that a nigga was trying to attack a white chick. Then we already got our soldiers on the ground. The KKK, we got them on the ground. We just alert them that a nigga tried to rape a white bitch, and you got all hell going loose. That's all we need. Now, who the fuck supplied the goddamn planes and the bombs, the dynamite? Dynamite was used for oil, for finding oil. Mining. That's what dynamite was made to use for back then. Mining coal and oil. So y'all gotta understand, they kicked niggas off the land for the resources, your resources that they still holding. So again, I wanted to show y'all. So there's the House Congressional Resolution 331. I've told y'all about this many times. And House Congressional Resolution 331 was in 1987 or 89 or whatever. And this is when they all came together and was like, oh, nigga, we fucked up. Oh, hey. Whew, we fucked up, y'all. We took the Aboriginals out. We fucked up. Now, they did it like this. They didn't say it loud. They was, hey, y'all, we fucked up. We owe the Native Americans. We owe these niggas. Don't nobody tell. Huh? I ain't saying that. What do you mean? Nigga, I wasn't whispering nothing. Nigga, I wasn't whispering nothing. What you talking about? You didn't hear me say nothing right now. So that's what was going on. They did House Congressional Resolution 331. I will read a lot of it to you. It's not that long. So I will read this to you to show you where your power is. And if you go to the Indian Bureau of Indian Affairs, the government's in the Bureau of the Interior, or what is it? The something of the Interiors, the Department of the Interior, but it's the Bureau of Indian Affairs. Go there, and you can see there's something called trust. There's a trust something. But when you click on that, it'll show you that all of them native Aboriginal lands that are in trust to America, that they're holding for Aboriginals in trust. It says it. It says land titles, and to tell you about the land titles and all this and that shit. That shit is chilling. But you ain't claiming it. You ain't claiming it. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't necessarily think you should. But here's House Congressional Resolution 331. Listen to this shit. To acknowledge the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy of Nations to the Department, hold on, let me get it. Oops. All right. To acknowledge the contribution of the Iroquois Confederacy of Nations to the development of the United States Constitution and to affirm the continuing government-to-government relationship between Indian tribes and the United States established in the Constitution. You understand that? Government to government. We're sovereign. We're equal sovereigns. Whereas the framers of the Constitution, including most notably George Washington and Benjamin Franklin, are known to have greatly admired the concepts of the Six Nations of the Iroquois Confederacy. Whereas the confederation of the original 13 colonies into one republic was influenced by the political systems developed by the Iroquois Confederacy, as were many of the democratic principles which were incorporated into the Constitution itself. Basically, we got our shit from them. Like, hey, nigga, thanks. And you gave us your land? Oh shit, nigga. They gave us their government and their land. Nigga, y'all some nice niggas. Y'all some nice goddamn. Hey, you some nice Indians. Nice little Indian. So, let me hit that again. Was influenced by the political system developed by the Iroquois Confederacy, as were many of the democratic principles which were incorporated into the Constitution itself. And whereas, since the formation of the United States, the Congress has recognized the sovereign status of Indian tribes and has, through the exercise of powers reserved to the federal government in the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, which is Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3, dealt with Indian tribes on a government-to-government basis, and has, through the treaty clause, Article 2, Section 2, Clause 2, entered into 370 treaties with the Indian tribal nations. Whereas, from the first treaty entered into with an Indian nation, the treaty with the Delaware Indians of September 17, 1778, the Congress has assumed a trust responsibility and obligation to Indian tribes and their members. Indian tribes, not nations. Whereas this trust responsibility calls for Congress to exercise the utmost good faith in dealings with Indians, as provided for in the Northwest Ordinance of 1787. See, this is when, so basically, when they took the land in the Northwest Ordinance, they was like, look, we're gonna take all this land. Hey, so this land, this right there, we taking that. Yeah, that too. So, hey, my bad. Yeah, that too. But yeah, we're taking that too. But look, they hold on. We're gonna tell you what you get. Behind door number 2, you get a nice little strip of land around the tree. How about that? You get the tree too, my nigga. You get the tree and a little bit of land around that tree. Nigga, you great. So basically what they did was give the Aboriginals land and say, whatever land we give you, we can't touch that. Whatever land you get to keep, we can't fuck with you. You have sovereign right over that. We have to make treaties in order to deal with you on that land, blah, 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 so forth and so forth. Basically saying, nigga, whatever's left over, nigga. We taking about 90% of this shit. The 97% maybe. But the 3% left over, we can't fuck with that, nigga. That's all your shit. That's you, nigga. Hey, nigga, ain't that great? So that's what they did. Whereas the judicial system of the United States has consistently recognized and reaffirmed this special relationship, now therefore it be resolved by the House of Representatives and Senate concurring, meaning we agree, and the House of Representatives and the Senate, we agree, the Congress on the occasion of the 200th anniversary of the signing of the United States Constitution, acknowledges the contribution made by the Iroquois Confederacy and other Indian nations to the formation and development of the United States. We recognize that. Y'all niggas helped us. Goddamn, we know. We got it from y'all. 2, the Congress also hereby reaffirms the constitutionally recognized government-to-government relationship with Indian tribes, which has been the cornerstone of this nation's official Indian policy. All right. 3. The Congress specifically acknowledges and reaffirms the trust, responsibility, and obligation of the United States government to Indian tribes, including Alaska Natives, for their preservation, protection, and enhancement, including the provision of health, education, social, and economic assistance programs as necessary, and including the duty to assist tribes in their performance of governmental responsibility to provide for the social and economic well-being of their members and to preserve the tribal cultural identity and heritage. They're breaking this shit off. They basically like, look, nigga, we owe y'all niggas everything. What you want? Number 4, the Congress also acknowledges the need to exercise the utmost good faith in upholding its treaties with the various tribes. That means, like, we fucked y'all niggas over on them treaties before, but if y'all want us to be good with them treaties now, just come and ask. That's basically what they're saying. Like, look, we fucked you on the treaties before, but if y'all want to do with these treaties right now, just holler at us. So let me go back to that. The Congress also acknowledges the need to exercise the utmost good faith in upholding its treaties with the various tribes as the tribes understood them to be. That's important. Do you understand that? As the tribes understood them to be. Not as we thought they was going to be, as you niggas thought. And the duty of a great nation to uphold its legal and moral obligations for the benefit of all its citizens, so that they and their posterity may also continue to enjoy the rights they have enshrined in the United States. So do y'all understand? This is literally, they were like, look, nigga, well, and also the Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, the American Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Go look that up. That also says that you have the right to self-determination and self-identification. That means you need to tell me who you are. I can't tell you. If you a gang of niggas out, you a gang of Aboriginal niggas out there, how the fuck am I supposed to know if you don't come tell me? How the fuck I don't know, nigga? So it said self-identification individually and as a nation and as a group. So you can come as a group and say, yo, we all Choctaw, we all Cherokee, or we all this, or just individually. If you want to claim your status, you can go back and be like, look, nigga, I'm Lenape, homie. Where my shit? But you got to do it the right way. You just can't walk up like that. But that's basically what they're saying. This is all of your shit. Yo, is this thing still on? So, somebody just tried to call me. That's why I got cut. Why would you try to call me when I'm doing a live stream? Come on, Hassan. That was Timmy Tight Top. For y'all who don't know, Timmy Tight Top just tried to call when I'm doing a live stream. Come on, man. The hell's wrong with you? Timmy Tight Top? Nigga. TTT. So, yeah, they changed. So basically, they're trying to get. They got the resources. All the resources, the gold and oil that would have made us generationally wealthy. They stole it. They jacked it. Gone. However, they're holding a lot of it in trust for you if you go back in the right way. Now, do I think you should go back and do that? Hell no. I don't think you should go back and try to get your land like that. Why not? Because they're gonna send you through 18,000 hoops to try to do that. I don't believe that's what you should be doing. Excuse me. What you should do, you need to get back together and understand these new ways in order for you to flourish. It's so easy for you to get on top right now. Knowledge is everywhere. All you got to do is sit your ass down and learn it. And I've been telling you to get back in or get into the stock market. This is truly a way for you to come up, and you can come up quick. You can come up real quick through the stock market. This is the secret they have been holding on against us. The stock market is the major game. Also, land ownership. But the stock market is how they get to the land ownership. Because you don't even need money to invest to invest in stocks. This is what they don't tell you. You can open up a margin account. You need some money. So say if you open up a margin account with like $500, they'll match that. Or some places, some brokerage firms will give you 4 times that, so that you can buy and sell stocks. It's absolutely insane. They don't tell you this shit. Why would they tell you? Because we don't want niggas to have no money. But this is how you get back in the game. You can, and seriously, and it's options. Really, you want to get into trading options. I'm just giving y'all, trying to put y'all up on the game. Let's get this Black Wall Street back. Let's recreate the melanated or the Aboriginal Wall Street, the new one. But we got to do it let's do it by jumping on the existing Wall Street and flipping that shit. Let's flip this Wall Street and turn it back into our shit. Because if it's one thing that I've seen, this information is so easy. If you got a hustle spirit, everybody who's a hustler picks this up like that. Especially drug dealers, old drug dealers and shit like that, just hustlers on the street, they pick this game up like that and able to make crazy money. So, it's just learning the quick little languages that they had, the words and language that they have for the finance, but you got to get into that. This is not a game right now. This is so many people are doing this. So many melanated people are coming up on this financial information and regaining what we lost. This is the karma. They took it, but so the information, this is the way the universe sends this karma back around. They're like, oh, okay, nigga, you tried to take the land. All right, well, I'm about to send them all the knowledge to your damn stock market shit. How about that? And so all you got to do is be focused and sit their ass down and learn it. And then how do you do it? Then what you do? You reacquire land. So really the way you're supposed to do it is stock market, make some money, open a business, then acquire land. This is the way, this is Caucasian. When I was on this Clubhouse app, these are people with hundreds of millions of dollars telling you this is the system, the formula in order to create rich. Get in the stock market, make your money, make enough money to start a business, and then now you got two streams of income, then you start buying land. Or multiple streams of income, then you start buying the land. This is how you do it. And you don't buy houses to live in, dumbasses. You buy houses to rent. Rich people only live in the houses if they have enough money to have multiple houses. They live in the house that they own. Other than that, a lot of rich people, they buy their houses and rent them out. Why? Because it's called passive income. You want to create as many streams of passive income as possible. Where you just sitting down, you wake up and look at your phone and be like, oh shit, I got $100? I got $500? Shit like that. Passive streams of income. You can do that through e-commerce, but really the major way is to get into the stock market game. I'm telling you, trading those options. You have to get in. This is a mandatory, imperative. You have to get into this game. You cannot let them run this whole game because it's so damn easy. It's so goddamn easy, man. Look how much money people were making off just Dogecoin, just going up like crazy. It's fucking insane. AMC theaters just went crazy. If you had money in AMC, if you bought AMC 2 weeks ago, you made a gang of money. AMC 2 weeks ago was only like $8. $8 a share or something. Then it went to $35 on Friday, $35 a share. If you had stock in AMC movie theaters, you would have made a grip of money just like that. This is the game. Y'all got to put your damn video games down, put the goddamn YouTube down, unless it's to watch videos on how to make money. But you got to put all that other shit down, man, until you learn how to make money. That shit'll be there for you when you finish. It ain't going nowhere. You don't need to know what video is trending today to make you laugh and all that shit. Put that shit down. It ain't going no motherfucking where. Get on there and start learning how to get this damn Black Wall Street back, this melanated Wall Street. Y'all know how I hate saying that goddamn word, but so we're going to do an Aboriginal Wall Street. How about that? That's our new shit. Let's get this Aboriginal Wall Street. And so who you need to start looking at, I've said this to you many times, but I'm going to say it again. Options, Mark Monroe. Okay, Mark Monroe for options. Go to, what is it? The Come Up series. That's the YouTube channel, the Come Up series. And start watching that. He puts all that shit, and that's free. Mark Monroe teaches you options for free, people. No money, zero money. He ain't never gonna ask you for no money. He will ask you for you to commit and focus, though. So ain't no bullshit. But get in there. You don't need any money. He will teach you how to be a millionaire for free. So now you ain't got no damn excuses. And just so y'all know, Mark Monroe, 16 years ago, was worth $450 million. 16 years ago. Before he started trading options, he sold the company and made $450 million. So if y'all want to listen to anybody tell you how to make money, it's that nigga. And he's melanated, and he got a melanated wife. And for all y'all people who give a shit about that, but he mashing. So the other one is Wall Street Trapper. Wall Street Trapper was just on the Breakfast Club about a month ago. Go look at that episode of Wall Street Trapper on the Breakfast Club. He breaking that shit down. Wall Street Trapper was a drug dealer, went to jail. He had a trap house. That's why he called Wall Street Trapper. He had a trap house. We sold dope. We sold drugs. Then he went to jail and met a white dude, met a Caucasian dude, white collar criminal in jail. And the white collar criminal taught him how to trade stock. He said, man, the Caucasian dude told him, man, y'all, because he knew how he kind of saw that he was kind of intelligent. So he told him and a buddy of his, like, man, y'all shouldn't be in here. He said, man, what the hell how you gonna tell me I shouldn't be in here? You in here with me. He's like, I ain't listening to nothing you say. But he told him, he's like, nah, I'm in here for something different, man. I'm in here for white collar crimes. And so he started breaking it down, taught him the stock market, got out, made $1 million, went back, started teaching the brothers in jail how to trade stocks. Now, the homies in jail have portfolios, diversified portfolios. This stock here, we own some land here. These niggas in jail. His 10-year-old daughter got a goddamn a 6-figure portfolio. It's hers. She worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. 10-year-old daughter. And go listen to how he talk. He just a regular dude. Wear hoodies all the time. Let you know, look, I'm just a regular nigga. I just learned how to do this. Another brother is Aristotle Investments. Go look that brother up. Aristotle. He's another brother who was a hustler who made money. He learned how to trade stocks from Trading Stocks for Dummies, the Dummies book. And he made millions. In his videos, he's sitting in his Lambo at his crib teaching you how to trade stocks on his phone. In his garage. He literally laying in it. Like, yo, this is how you do this, boo, boo, boo. And you go, yeah, this is called a Bollinger. This is called Bollinger Bands. And it is so many melanated people out here making money doing this right now. There's no reason for you not to do this. But then, how you do this, again, you get this, you get your money, you get your business, you acquire land. But you don't necessarily need to get a business to acquire land. I'm about to tell you how to acquire that land. I told you before. Oh, but before I do, the other person is Trade and Travel, Terry Igioma. She's off the chain. She used to be a teacher. Go to her channel, Trade and Travel. Okay, she's dope. Break you off. She teaches you how to day trade or be a swing trader, actually. And she's good with options and all. She teaches you all of that. She has like a full mixture of that. Terry Igioma. Her last name is Ijeoma. Terry Igioma. Teri. Terry Igioma. Another lady stock trader killing the game. Her name is Tiffany James at Modern Black Girl. Look her up. She's dope. She only 25, 26 years old. Killing the game. Seriously, only 25 or 26 years old. Just moved into a super high-rise building in downtown New York, near overlooking Park Avenue, making crazy money. 25, 26. Y'all need to go look. These are melanated people. These are brothers and sisters making crazy money, trying to teach y'all how to do it. Now, her thing is she only likes to teach sisters how to trade. She'll teach brothers too, but it's geared towards teaching melanated sisters. So, sisters, get in there. It's called, her name is Tiffany James, and it's Modern Black Girl. Tiffany James, Modern Black Girl. I think some of my mods are putting the links in the chat. Thank you, appreciate y'all. Another channel is called Live Traders. This is a Caucasian dude. He used to be a stock trader on Wall Street. Now his whole program is dope. They'll teach you, they'll tell you that they got a program that they want you to pay for, but if you just go through all his videos on his channel, he literally puts the whole program in his goddamn in YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything. You can literally learn how to trade and read and do stocks and technical analysis and all the rest of that stuff just by looking at that channel. It's called Live Traders. Now that dude is a little harsher than the other people I taught you. He gonna be real with you. You don't know shit. Stop looking at YouTube videos and thinking you're gonna make $1 million. You're not gonna do that, but I'm gonna tell you how you can. And so, if you got a hard heart, then you can fuck with him. But if you soft and you're sensitive, don't fuck with that dude, because he gonna talk to you hard. But he can let you know the real shit though. And then all of you should be watching the Earn Your Leisure channel. Watching the Earn Your Leisure channel. Get them brothers. Them brothers are, those brothers are doing great work, uplifting the community, teaching them financial responsibility, financial literacy. You got to get with those brothers. Absolutely. All right. So these are resources I just gave y'all. If y'all don't learn how to make money, it's on y'all. At this point, I just gave you great resources on learning how to make money. All of these are great. Trust me. Tested and true. Tested and true. Especially Mark Monroe, man. He got so many people on his. He teaches so many people how to make money. It's crazy. So does Tiffany James. Tiffany James is no joke. She broke down in her class before Tesla went up. She told people in her class to buy a Tesla option for $1,000 in January of 2020. If y'all don't know, Tesla was only $70 a share in January of 2020. She told her people, her clients or whatever, to buy that stock, $1,000 stock. In December of 2020, that $1,000 option, not a stock, but it's an option, $1,000 option on Tesla. At the end of the year, in December, that $1,000 option was worth $200,000. $1,000 turned into $200,000 in a year. Now, everyone ain't gonna hit like that, but this is how options work. You don't have to spend big to make big, because you're buying 100 shares of a stock at once. So, but you don't have to buy them at that price. That's the whole thing. You buy them at a minimum price, and then you hold on to them, hoping that it goes up, and then you get paid when it goes up, and then you get rid of them. But I'm making it, simplifying it, but that's kind of how easy it is. Y'all can get into this game. Let's get this Aboriginal Wall Street back. God damn it. And the last thing I want to tell you, so you get that, you get your money, and then what do you start doing? Group together and start getting land. Land is real easy to get. It's not hard at all. You can buy lands at auctions. Go to governmentauction.com. Governmentauction.com. They sell, first of all, this is stuff that's repossessed by the government. So they got good shit. This is motherfuckers who had to lose their land because they didn't have no money, or they got lost it in a raid, or it got taken over because of some shit else. So they just got property and land and cars and jewelry and all kinds of stuff. You can auction, you can bet on anything. But land, man, 40 acres for like $3,500. Yes, 30 acres for 40 acres for $3,500 on there. And you can see a gang of those. But you want to acquire land, you know why? Because they're not making any more of that. Even if there may not be any water resources near it, the land changes all the time. You just want to get enough of, just start accumulating the shit and holding it. Because land always goes up. It don't ever go down. Land always appreciates. That's the one thing you can buy that will always appreciate is land. So, and you're always going to need land because you're going to need a place to sleep. That's the one thing that everyone needs in the world, because they're not making more of it unless volcanoes go off and shit. So You got to get your land. And so this is the way, this is the road back to getting that Aboriginal Wall Street, because that's what it was at the beginning. As now y'all know, they weren't black. It wasn't no black Wall Street. It was settled by the Aboriginals that moved there from the Indian Removal Act. They all had to fled. They all had to flee Georgia and all those states over there to the west of the Mississippi. And so most of them settled in Oklahoma, and that's where you get your so-called black people who settled Black Wall Street. So now you go tell your parents, it wasn't, don't tell your people, nigga, that wasn't no Black Wall Street, that was Aboriginal, nigga, they was motherfucking Native American. Go do that, because it's real. They gonna try to tell you, no, that wasn't, they was slaves of the Native American. No, they wasn't. No, they wasn't at all. They was the Native Americans. They were the Aboriginal Americans. Niggas look just alike. Who was the slave? Who was the goddamn Aboriginal American? Bullshit. That's your shit. That's your people. Get in there and get your shit back. Now, again, I say let's do it. This is the way we always did it. If you lose, you can't go back and reclaim shit. Usually, that's not how the universe works. You can't go back in time. You can only improve upon what the lessons that you should have learned. So we lost that land back in the day. We didn't do the shit we needed to do. We didn't protect it. We trusted too much. We did a whole lot of shit that we shouldn't have did, and we lost the land. Not to mention it was karma, because we had been doing slavery since the beginning of time. So obviously that shit is always gonna come back on you. But at this point in time, there are new ways to acquire and to regain the wealth. And that's what you should be doing right now. Figuring out those new ways, the easy ways that they do to get this money and hold on to it and create generational wealth. And we need to start doing that same shit. And I just gave you major resources on how to do that. These are all great resources for you to learn how to trade in the stock market from. Absolutely. Tested and true, vetted. These are great people. Go look them up and get your goddamn education on them, because this needs to come back. This is the 100th anniversary of when they burnt that city down. They destroyed it. They massacred those people. So with this 100th anniversary, let's do a rebirth energy. Let's get back into that. Let's all focus, let's consciously focus on rebirthing that entity. Let's do it. And you can do it through understanding and getting your financial education. That's the only way that we really gonna get back in this game. So please do that. And also, y'all know, while y'all doing that, get your law up. Y'all know how we do. Make sure y'all learning these laws. We got the Know Your Rights Foundation. We're still working on that. Everybody who's volunteered for the Know Your Rights Foundation, I have your emails. I'm going to hit you back. I'm doing so much stuff trying to get it. But please just be patient. And, you know, it's not, if I didn't hit you back, that's not, we don't need you. We absolutely need you. We're just structuring things right now because we don't want to be BLM. We're not trying to be Black Lives Matter. Y'all seen what happened to that? Old girl done got up and bounced. Y'all see that shit? She got the fucking like, hey, nigga, 90 million? Hey, y'all, I'm over here. So, all three people, just so y'all know, all the three ladies who started Black Lives Matter, they not there no more. None of the people who started Black Lives Matter are there, or Black Lives Matter are there. She left and put somebody in place. She put somebody in place that she chose. So, you know, it's still gonna be with the fuckery, and you're not gonna know where the money is. But this is how to just show you real quick how the game works. The IRS allows you to at the end of each year, you're supposed to report how much money you made. If you don't, the IRS lets you get away with 1 year. Then again, if you don't, the IRS lets you get away with it for the next year. On the third year, if you don't report, the IRS revokes your nonprofit status. But they still don't make you tell them where the money went. So you get to keep the money. They just take away your nonprofit status. 2 years later, you can reapply to have that same entity reinstated and do it all over again. Ain't that the fuckery? So, Black Lives Matter, BLM, again, that word black, it was bound to fail from the jump with that fucking word black on it. But again, that whole thing is in turmoil. Y'all better understand that, you know, that ain't there to save you niggas. So you got to save yourself. And that's by learning the law. And y'all know how we do. Know Your Rights manual. Everything y'all need to know about this damn law right here. And put it all in here. This is the fourth revision. So we've been making it better and better and better as it goes along. So this is the fourth revision. Got 15 more pages in it. Stuff that you need to know. Got to pick that up. It also comes with the constitutional rights card. Y'all know how we get down. This is all your rights that you should know yourself when you get pulled over by the police. But this is here it is, and you tell this, you hand this to the police officer, and you can be quiet. You shut the hell up. They read this again. You exercise your Fifth Amendment. Shut the hell up. Let them read it. This basically states that if they violate your rights, you will place a lien on their bond. They lose their qualified immunity. Here's a qualified immunity card that lets them also know that. This is the laws that deal with qualified immunity. Because if they violate your rights, knowingly violate your rights, they lose their qualified immunity. That's why you always need to catch them on camera. Always get these niggas on camera because they can't say that they didn't know if you're telling them the law on camera. They can't say, I didn't know. Wait, what you mean you didn't know? Nigga, I'm telling you right now. So that's bullshit. This also comes with it. The qualified immunity notice. These two things go together. When you hand the police, you would hand them both of these because these are the Supreme Court cases on here that tell them that they lose their qualified immunity. This is the law. You can't say you didn't know the law when I handed you a card with the law on it, nigga. Now you didn't know. And then you also record yourself filming this card and handing them this card. Like, this card has all the laws, and you give them that card. All right, and then also, if everything fails and it goes wrong, they still want to fuck with you, then you go and you place that lien. Oh man, appreciate you, Confunia, appreciate you, girl. So you go and you get this here. This is the Public Official Bonds book. This shows you how to place a claim on their bond. When you place a claim on a police officer's bond, they can't work that day. Now, because the insurance company begins an investigation on what happened. And so while the investigation is going, they can't work. They don't have a bond. The city requires every police officer to have a bond to be on duty. If you don't have a bond, you can't be on duty. And also the other thing is, if you research a police officer who's violated your rights and you find out that police officer doesn't have a bond, you can sue the city. Y'all know that? You can sue the city. If the state law requires police officers to have a bond and that police officer doesn't, because a lot of times they do let police officers roll around here just on the fly. So just so y'all know, you want to check it out. They do, you can sue the goddamn city. There's so many ways for you to protect yourself without screaming and yelling at the police officer and doing all that. You just need to know your goddamn rights and assert them properly. That's it. You don't got to be yelling at niggas. You got to be kissing their ass. Officer, Mr. Officer, sir. And, and thinking about you calling them sir and you calling all this and that. This is going to have some lead. They don't give a shit if you calling them sir and bro and all the rest of this shit. They don't care. Smack their ass with this goddamn law and watch how fast they back the hell up. If you don't believe me, I tell you this every time. Go check out Big Nick, South Florida Accountability Channel. The reason I seen the Big Nick, because he's the most gangster out of all the auditors. He the one that knows the law the best and makes them follow the law the best. And they don't mess with him. When they roll up on Big Nick, they know. They roll up, they think they getting ready to do something all crazy. They jump out the car and they see him. They like, oh, hey, what up, Big Nick? they be on 10,000 when they roll up and get out the car and see him there. They go, oh, hey, what up, Big Nick? Hey, how you? Yeah, nigga. They don't mess with Big Nick. But that's because he knows the law. He doesn't even know as much stuff that's in this damn book. Honestly, he doesn't even know nearly as much stuff that's in this book. So, again, think of how much power you can have when you start learning the law. Okay? Commit yourself to it. It'll happen. You'll know it. People in our Police Stop Law class, if you want to get in that's every Sunday through the Patreon. Go to patreon.com/realnagas. Sign up for the $20 level and you can get into the Police Stop Law class that we do every Sunday. That's the live classes. And we are teaching in those classes, people are going literally from knowing absolutely no law, zero law, to being able to bust police out, man. They're killing the game. There's a lawyer in that Police Stop class. She was a lawyer for 20 years. And she was like, I didn't even learn this in law school. Honestly, she was like, I didn't even learn a lot of this stuff. So just so you know, you get in there, you can learn this stuff and you can have power to enforce your rights. All right. So, and y'all know, y'all get the other thing, the flashcards. Now, this is real easy for you niggas. Come on now. This is easy to learn like hell. If you can't learn from flashcards, you must have been a bad student in school. Because these are basically clip notes on what to do. All right, this is a shortcut. There's a section in the book called What to Do at Terry Stops and Police Stops, or excuse me, at Terry Stops and Traffic Stops. All of the questions that are in that section in the book are all the questions that are on these cards. What is probable cause? What is reasonable suspicion? All of those things. All right, so you need to know those things, the basic laws, to save your ass, to save your kids' ass. All right, because they're coming after your kids. Don't get it twisted. That's who I made this for, really. I made these for the kids. So if you got kids, you want to sit down with them, get them about an hour a day, half an hour a day, even shit. 15, 20 minutes. But now I'd say about at least a half an hour to an hour a day, sit with them and they will pick this up. They will learn it. You have no choice, really. What else you gonna do? Instead of be marching all the goddamn time and crying. You have the power to take your power back. Here it is. All right, and you get all of that shit for free. Just so y'all know, that police stop law package is worth over $300. And I'm giving it to you for free if you order the Great Book of Melanin Research, because I need you guys to know the law. I don't need people following me. I need everybody on the same level. That's when we will be gangster. When we're all on the same level, knowing the same stuff, mashing out. So again, order the hard copy, Great Book of Melanin Research. You get the whole police stop law package for free. I literally have 13. Y'all been buying the shit out of these. The packages. So I had 98 free decks of cards to give out. I have 13 left. 13 free decks of police of flashcards to give back out. So, but you can also order the deck. Where is it? Should have been over here somewhere. Oh man, I lost the deck of cards. Wait, hold on. So this is how the deck looks. This is how the deck looks when you actually buy it from the store. It comes packaged up. But here you go. These are the free decks. Send these to you with the whole package. All right. So that's it. Happy, well, not happy, but if you're at a barbecue, grubbing up on the Memorial Day, do it for your family. Don't do it because America. It's some shit about America. You don't need to be celebrating that shit. But do remember all the people who were massacred, all your ancestors who were massacred in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 100 years ago today, because, it started the literal financial downfall of our people in America. It precipitated the financial downfall and destruction, and the financial. It's a financial holocaust, really. It's a financial holocaust that they caused, and so remember those people, and then let's use that knowledge, because what is not all knowledge, all information is so that you can correct. It's information, it's knowledge, so that you can do better next time. So let's take what they did and let's build upon that. You have the tools, you got the information now. What you think they would have did with all this goddamn information back then? If they had all the information that you got, there's nothing you can't know. Nothing. If you want to know anything in the world, you can know it. Especially about finance. You can know language, whatever the financial language is. Go to Investopedia.com. Investopedia. That's like an encyclopedia for investment. Anything you want to know, just type it in the search bar, it'll tell you. There's no excuses for you to be broke today. It's just not. Other than you lazy as shit. That's just what it is. Because you can just sit down on your phone when you're chilling and just start getting that information. Then, when you need some money, boom, boom, pool it up with somebody. You don't need much. Research your stocks. Say, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this for a little bit. Let that make some money. Take that out. Take the principal out. Reinvest that. Boom, boom, boom. And start building. You take out your profit. Leave the principal in. Reinvest the principal. And boom, you're going. But this is just basic financial information, financial education, that shit that you should know. Then you should get out there and get that goddamn information. And then get out there and get this information, because you need all of that. You need to know this goddamn law. You understand? This law. Oh, you also get the alkaline cookbook with it. forgot to tell y'all. That's right. You get the Alkaline Cookbook for free too. This comes as a digital copy because I don't own this, so I can't send you the actual copy. But it comes as a digital copy. So people quit asking me where's my goddamn alkaline recipe book. It's in the digital copy of books that I send you as soon as you buy the package. I send you a whole digital copy of the package too, just so y'all know. You don't just get the hard copy package. I send you a whole digital copy of the package so you can have it on your phone if you wanted to show your family and all this and that. And then you get the hard copy package. So literally, I'm giving y'all the other shit. I'm basically y'all raping me, goddammit. What the fuck? But I need y'all to know the law, so hey, I'll take it right now. All right, that's it for me. I'm about to bounce. Again, not a happy Memorial Day, but you know, an informed Memorial Day. And let's use this as the catalyst to get our money. All right, to get our shit back. All right, I'm gonna let y'all later. Peace.